Okay, welcome back to the Palooka Watch channel. I'm Mike. Today we are going to be talking about the G-10 slash NATO slash Zulu strap. Let's put an S on the end of that. Straps, because there's a lot of incorrect and misinformation. I'm going to do my best to get this right, best I can, right? I just bought a bunch of these straps from this particular company, which is called Art Style. These were on Amazon. The ones with the black PVD coated buckles are $10 and change a piece, and the ones with the stainless steel are $9 and change. So these are about the most affordable, NATO style. And we have to do this NATO because apparently somebody bought the rights to the name NATO watch strap and now is suing people who try to market their straps as NATO watch straps. So don't buy from that guy. I just want to point out that this company, for the money, I think is one of the better ones out there. I've bought quite a few. It comes with a watch. It comes with a tool for the spring bars, and every one comes with a set of spring bars as well. So that's a really neat thing. You guys know I prefer leather and or the bracelet. But I put one of these bands on here. Excuse me, I put this watch, the WMC, the Military Watch Company watch, on this band because I think it works. Now, I had this on this two-piece nylon strap, which I really liked. It looks very smart. It kind of dresses it up a little bit. But I was wearing it to work every day, and when that watch, the metal is on your wrist, you feel it a little bit. And I like having material under the watch. It's one of the reasons I started making the watch boons. Now, back to the Zulu versus G-10 and everything else. So, what you're going to see here, this here's a copy of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. And what it's on is an excellent representation of the MOD G-10 military watch strap. The schematic for it is right here. This is the design. This is the original design. Now, the idea here is that this extra piece underneath here is really just here as a safety. So when you take your watch off, the watch doesn't want to slide down and off the strap. That's all that is. That's all that's for. It's a little bit of safety there. The idea of having a pass-through strap is if one of your spring bars break, you don't lose the whole watch. With a two-piece strap, spring bar breaks, this falls off your wrist, your watch is gone. So you've got a little bit of safety here. That's all that is. Military watch strap. Nylon, heavy duty, lasts forever. Probably the most secure way to wear a watch on your wrist. Right? Bracelet clasps can come undone. Leather can stretch and tear after a while, rot away. These are going to hold up to, jungle environment, wet weather, all that good stuff. All right. Now, I typically, when I get them like this, and it's just the one piece here with the one buckle, this would be called a 4-buckle. I end up cutting that off, and I turn it into a single pass strap. It's good enough. Don't need the extra piece under it, in my opinion. Now, how often have I done that? This often. This often. So this is how many times, at least, probably more. I might not have saved all of these. These are all the straps that I've cut that extra piece. Why am I saving them? I don't know, man. I'm a hoarder. I kind of figure maybe I can put a grommet or 2 grommets in it. Maybe this could be like part of a keychain. I don't know why I'm saving them. They will come in handy at some point, and I'll use them for something. Rivet it to something like a pack. I don't know. And you can strap something to it. I don't know. I don't see myself throwing this out because they seem useful to me. But that's how often, at least bare minimum, I've done this. Matter of fact, here's a single pass. Yep, it's probably this piece right here. And that's what it is. So that's the part for that one. It's a great watch, by the way. Perpetual calendar, rare Seiko, high-end movement here. Now this is a very traditional watch strap. This would go, a style like this could go all the way back to World War I. During that war, this is what a lot of them had. It was just a leather strap, single pass. They were taking smaller pocket watches and brazing on like a system. You know, they didn't have spring bars back then. It was all fixed. So I did that. Now, of course, you guys know I make my own. Like here's a version of one that I made for myself that just has the buckle and a leather keeper, and I think it works great with this particular Seiko Atlas. All right, they call it the Land Shark. That's great. Now, at some point, they started making them with 5 buckles. Now, this has become accepted as the NATO strap today, you know, NATO style. Again, this one here is your standard G-10, what people would refer to as the NATO. Now, it might be, maybe I've got this wrong, maybe it became NATO when they added the extra buckle. You guys can correct me down in the comments there. Because this is what you want to do. By having the 2 buckles, and I didn't know this at first, right? I was wearing them like this. I would run this through one time, like you would do on this band. The problem was I'd wear and I'd twist my wrist, and these 2 buckles would hit each other and clank and make a little, you know, a little rattling sound. So when I was first buying these, I was actually taking this here and cutting one of these buckles free and getting rid of it. And then eventually I would just get rid of the whole bottom piece because I didn't know what to do with it until I discovered this is what you're supposed to do with it. You're supposed to run this up through here, pull that tight. And now there's no pressure whatsoever on the spring bars themselves in the watch case. That's wonderful. Because with this style, you tighten this down on your wrist, there's going to be pressure on these spring bars. All right? If your watch gets caught on something, like, you know, the band gets caught as you're reaching for something, and that pulls hard enough, it is very possible that one of these spring bars can let go. With this system, that if as this is on your wrist, if I catch this somewhere on something and it pulls, it's still locked up against the second buckle here. So you're not just going to rip that off. Of course, if this got caught, there's always the possibility it could rip off. Keep in mind, you've got 2 spring bars. So to lose your watch completely, you'd have to have both your spring bars fail. So I just wanted to go over all that, show you guys that schematic, and this is what I've learned. And, you know, the only issue I would say, if this company's watching, maybe I'll send them a link to this, is the strap's a little bit short. I've got a 7 5/8 inch wrist, and once I run it through the buckle here, I don't have enough room on this. I'll try to turn this for you here. You see how much, like if I do this, this is going to flap open, and it happens. So I try to do this. If I do this and this, you know, it's the same sort of thing. I like them long enough to where you can run it over the top of this one and then run it back underneath here this way and have enough length. Well, you know what, I could probably show you that. Maybe. Or kind of a way of doing it to a certain extent. This is only a 4 buckle strap. Give me a moment. There's no point in you watching me struggle putting this on. Okay. So we'll get this on here. I like to run this through here. Of course, I can make these any length I want. And then I like to take this and run it, sorry, I'm off camera, through this, over the top of the second buckle and underneath of itself. And then I feed it in with my fingers. And then I use this one here to lock it down. And now that wants to stay tucked. And it's just a neater, let's see if I can spin this around so you can see it. It's just a neater way to do it, and it usually stays that way. And that's what I would prefer. If you have a smaller wrist and you buy one of these newer bands, you won't have a problem. But for those of us with large, especially if you have it closer to an 8-inch wrist or larger, it's going to be a problem. So that's it. It's a tough guy kind of band meant for kind of a tough guy kind of watch. This is the system that you want to wear if you're going to be out and about in the forest, you're going to go into a combat situation, you're surfing, you're in and out of the water, climbing a mountain. This is going to be your best band option to make sure you don't lose your watch. That's just how it is. So I've got a bunch of these. I think I might put this on the tan in a moment to see what that looks like, possibly the black. I do like the olive drab. But that's it. I just, quick short video for you guys. I thought you'd appreciate it. I do have another watch that I got that's at the watch shop where this is going to look great on it. Real excited about that. And I'm real pleased with this company. I will say quickly, this is my favorite version as far as the nylon goes. I don't think I can get this through to you through the screen. What this feels like. This is a heavy-duty weave. It's my favorite. This is as well. The only thing about this one is it's a little slicker, so it doesn't have friction. It's very smooth to the touch. This one can lock up against itself because it has more of a rough texture to it. Just across your fingers. It's perfectly comfortable to wear. It's not like wearing a wool sweater up against your skin. You know what I'm saying? It's not uncomfortable at all. I'm just saying, whatever they did with this, and I don't know what the terminology is. I'm not getting into the buckles. This one is an exact representation of the original G-10. With the buckle system. I suppose these are more modern. These elliptical kind of ones, oval, whatever you want to call them, round bar. This is just what you tend to see more often these days. People will say the buckles determine the difference between a NATO and a G-10 and a Zulu, but that's not the case. A Zulu, forget about the buckle style, is a single pass strap. A NATO or G-10 is going to have the second piece. I suppose, and as I'm saying, I'm trying to maybe even correct myself as I go. This would definitely be considered an MOD. MOD is Ministry of Defense. So this was the British that came up with this system. And it might have even been a single pass originally, because I think that the band that James Bond wore in Goldfinger was only a single pass. And I think that originally they were just gray as well. And then possibly what we're talking about here is the 5 buckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that's really what became the NATO strap. Maybe that's really what's going on here. But I really want to just point out that that's how you should do it. If you want safety, is running it through these buckles. It's real simple. We know my pet peeve with this particular watch case. They didn't chamfer it, so I was able to slide it through this one, but I had to pull the spring bar off on here and run the strap through and then put the spring bar back on. No big deal. This watch is not going to slide down on the strap. It would work fine on just a Zulu style single pass. But again, by running this through both buckles, and then running it back through the 2 buckles, and then pulling that through again, getting that snug. That's it. I can pull this as hard as I want. There's no pressure on the spring bars. So now you know. Okay? Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Come back often. Tell your friends. Once again, this has been a Palooka Watch Channel production. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. Bye. Well, well, well. Bonus for you. I had this super snug, and I pulled real hard on it, and I broke the spring bar. So I got to replace the spring bar. But now you get to see how, if you do break a spring bar, one of these watches actually work. Excuse me, not the watch, but the band. So that's what happened. You break the spring bar, you don't lose the watch.